indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mayor Williams. Here. Commissioner Basil.
Here.
Commissioner Edelman.
Here.
Commissioner Holloway.
Yep.
Commissioner Mazzola.
Here.
Commissioner Mayo.
Absent.
Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
Quorum is present. Approval of agenda.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes, me. I want to add to that. Can we,
You want to make a motion?
I want to make the motion that Chuck Miles absent, and he should be approved by the committee. Is that okay? I need a second.
I'll second
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Chuck Brown is excused absence for his vacation. Any public comments or concerns? All right, we'll move on to standing items. Approval of commission meeting minutes from February 26, 2019.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes from February 26th.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on to standing item B, approval of first payment of bills for the month of March 2019 in the total amount of $59,528.30.
I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And now I will entertain a motion to accept the revenue expenditure report for the month of February 2019.
So moved.
Okay?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on to monthly reports. Chief Bettino, you are first.
I'll have a written report next meeting, but they want to bring to the commission's attention, myself and Mr. Davis met today and see if we can bring a resolution to the Raider property here soon. It's been given more than enough time.
Okay, thank you. Any additions, Mr. Bond?
I don't have any additions, but I would entertain any questions you might have on the generator, with being natural gas as opposed to diesel. I think that should be discussed this evening. In my report, I noted some of the costs involved with going natural gas. So, if you have questions now, or you want to wait till later, I'll leave them to it. But
I have one question, if you don't mind. Did Mr. Meinhardt ever come up with any,
he did. He emailed me some new quotes, and the prices for diesel range between $17,000 to $21,000.
about the same size?
And those were larger. He's working hard to make sure that we're properly sized for our needs, and that would be like a 55 kW generator as opposed to the 80, which was initially quoted, which is more along the lines of $26,000. I would recommend that we stick with the diesel. We're already set and ready for the diesel. We have a new 300-gallon tank we can run for like 2 weeks on that diesel tank.
Oh, I thought it was 30-gallon tank, I'm
No,
sorry.
300.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
And I'm not exactly sure why the cost is so much for the natural gas service line that we ran, but it's, yeah, with the $750 extra to get a natural gas generator, and then the $12,200 to run the line, and then the monthly fee. We can run 2 weeks on the diesel. I think we should just stick the diesel route, but it's
Did Steve say anything about the problems with the diesel, with his generators?
I'm sorry, Ray.
Did he mention any problems with the diesel
No,
fuel?
no, right from the get-go, he kind of pushed towards diesel, just because of the fact that those motors start up so hard, and the torque that the diesel has, kind of beats the needs of those engines, those motors to start, whereas the natural gas, you actually have to go a little bit bigger kW in order to get the motor started in the first place. So, and then with already having a 300-gallon tank and that, he recommended that we go diesel, but obviously wanted to bring it to the commission to hear your thoughts and pick my brain if you need to.
I just thought it would be a nicety for you as far as not having to fill it up. I didn't, I'm thinking 30 gallons and there's 300, so, that's.
We figured what it would you consume for fuel, under load and just to operate, not under load, and about 2 weeks is what we can get out of that 300 gallons. Of course, in that 2 weeks we could refill
So,
as well.
Jamie, would you comment on the ability to reuse that diesel fuel if you need to? Or
Yes, just to keep the fuel, obviously treat the fuel in the winter, but we also will fuel up our implement, any diesel rain implement or the backhoe, the international plow truck with the diesel fuel that's in the tank to keep it so from getting old and stagnant. They also have circulating pumps for diesel that recirculates and filters the fuel through the winter or summer, either one. So the fuel sitting there is not an issue.
And it is a part of our capital improvement plan too, that we, kind of scheduled it out to replace what's there, going with diesel versus switching over to gas. So we're still in line with that, with those recommendations from Brian and you all as well. Excuse me.
Now, the sooner that we can make this decision also the better because of the cost we incur with the rental, which is a large number.
So Mr. Meinhardt is still working on quote possibilities then,
What-
or?
What he sent today is something that I think that we would probably want to go with. It's a different company. I know Ray had sent some information as well, different places, different avenues. What he sent today looked good, looked really good.
All
And
right.
with this John Deere engine, which is able to be serviced by just about anybody around here, there's a lot of John Deere
Mhm.
equipment dealers, service centers, so I'm comfortable with what he's come up with.
Well, didn't we approve to?
I believe we already approved to the discretion of
The funds.
Mr. Davis and Jamie, yeah,
Yeah,
For
we-
30,000?
up to.
Up to
Mhm.
30. I would withdraw the stipulation about natural gas if that's where you want to go.
Yeah, as we talked some more about, it's kind of an emergency thing, I brought it before you all, and Jamie and I talked again, and I said, well, before we just change course, I wanted to bring it to you all's attention so that there's no question about why do we go with this and not stick with gas and so forth. So I asked Jamie to bring forth the information for you all to review, and if you all are in agreement, then we will move forward with his recommended.
So do we need a motion to change the stipulation for that, or no?
I would like to have one on record, yes.
I move that we allow Jamie to purchase a backup generator that best suits the situation regardless of natural gas or diesel.
Sorry, after the backup generator, then I lost.
Did you get diesel?
Well, you said
Regardless.
regardless, that's what I missed.
I'll second that.
Regardless of whether it's diesel or
Or natural
natural
gas.
gas. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Anything to add, Esther?
Just that there are some icy spots, with the weather and how it's been lately, temperature dropping at night, that You know, the salt is not working, it's kind of, I guess you could say, wave a little bit, or up and down, it works a little bit, and it melts a little bit, but, yeah, freezing thaw, so just caution everyone, be careful of the, not getting direct sunlight in certain spots downtown as well, so if there is an issue, feel free to call us, you know, I think we still have some salt in storage that we can sprinkle about and, or try to tend to help out on those needs. And in addition to that, that's, oh, I have a newborn, I guess I'll share that information, I can't forget about the little guy already.
I thought the mayor was gonna bring that up.
Yeah, so, yeah,
I
last
should
week.
have. Congratulations.
Carson?
Yes, Carson.
Yeah, Carson is here, he's doing very well, Mom is doing very well. I'm adjusting my sleep pattern as well. Lack of, yeah. So, but no, everyone's doing great, you know, everything worked out, I made it back from Chicago in time, and, you know, I kind of joked with Chief Patino that I had to press the gas a little bit, you know, once I got the call. But, yeah, everyone's doing well, so thanks to all for your congratulations and so forth, so appreciate it.
On to new business.
Presentation.
I was gonna say, nope, I skipped right over it, I was looking for it, okay. We're gonna hear next from Mike Adams, which is the Executive Director for Habitat for Humanity.
All right, you say presentation, I think I should have PowerPoint
Oh, okay.
activities, but I don't. I'm gonna step over here because I don't look good on camera. Since we've been here last, I don't remember how many months ago that you graciously gifted us the property on East First Street, but it's here, it's time, it's spring. We are in the process right now of scheduling our first financial fitness class. That will be the kickoff of the family selection process. We're hoping to host the class somewhere in the Stanton community. So if anybody has any ideas on that, we're looking for a place that would allow us a separate area for childcare. Because it's a full day class. The first half we cover budgeting, and the second half we cover understanding your credit and reading your credit report. So we feed them lunch, we offer childcare, and so, any ideas, let me know. After that, we'll schedule a mandatory orientation meeting for anybody interested in becoming the partner family for the Stanton home. The financial fitness class is open to anybody. You don't have to be interested in Habitat. It's whoever wants to come, and we'll get the information to you when we do get that scheduled. But the informational session that we schedule immediately following that will be a mandatory meeting that will explain the process and the expectations of Habitat. That'll be the official kickoff of the applications. And from there, it'll probably take 2 to 3 weeks to get through applications and home checks and the credit reports and everything before we can select a family. So, at this point, we're going to select one family at a time. And once we get them, I'm going to hope that we can schedule a time that they can come to one of your commission meetings and you can meet the family that's going to move into the property you gave us. I was talking to Vester about updates periodically through the build season, and I don't have an issue coming to the board monthly. If I can't be here, I can at the very least get Vester a written summary of where we're at with the process and make sure you guys stay informed on what's happening with the house. You'll be able to see progress, I'm sure, but I'll keep you a little more informed on some of the details. We don't have house plans completed yet because we wait until we have a family for that in case there are any special considerations with handicaps or family size. But initially we're looking at it'll be a ranch style home. It's not written in stone yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to push a single stall garage through the Habitat board. It appears that your city zoning requires us to put in storage structure 15% of the size of the residential structure. And we are looking at about 1,120 square feet for the residential structure, so we're gonna build more than a half a garage anyway. So I think we're gonna be able to push that through to, Habitat typically does not do garages. So that's why it's kind of this is new ground for the board. We built garages in Greenville because the city required it. We can always do what the municipality requires, so close your ears, Daily News, if the city just said, you have to build a garage. But we probably will because we have to build something more than half the size of what it would be anyway. Another thing that occurred to us while we were looking at the site plan is that's a full acre lot, 132 feet wide. So I made a call to Vester about the possibility of splitting that lot and building 2 houses. And so it sounds like that's possible. Vester's gonna back that up with the assessor tomorrow. And I've got a call into Tingley's for a survey that would support a land split, and with a little bit of luck, Habitat is gonna put another house in Stanton. So I'm really excited about that. And it works out well because in the Habitat model of affordable housing, an acre is really pushing it for affordability for the family. So this is going to work out well. Any questions so far on anything?
I think that sounds great. My one question is, do you have a date for the bike ride this year?
We are working on a date.
Okay.
We are, it looks like we're going to partner with Gratiot County this year.
Okay.
They came to us, and Gratiot County, the trail goes from Elma to Edmore, and they wanted to combine efforts. So originally those talks were a big start in Greenville, a big start in Edmore or Elma, and everybody passes each other about the time they hit Stanton.
Oh.
And now we're looking at
I know, I'm just thinking logistics there.
so now we're looking at a start in Edmore that would allow people to go either way. And then, so we'll probably be there. The date that the committee had looked at was August 10th. That obviously is not good with the city of Stanton. So we're revisiting that, and we're looking at, I think it would be 2 weeks from then. After Stanton Old Fashioned Days. I'm not sure the exact date, but the following weekend is Stanton Old Fashioned Day, or after Stanton Old Fashioned Days, the following weekend is the Danish Festival of Greenville. So we need to stay away from that, so probably the weekend after.
That's potato festival usually.
In Edmore, we just can't win, can we?
Oh,
You need to do
Because
it in July.
I usually do it.
but it's too hot, then you take
All right.
Wasn't it in June last year?
It was, yeah, it was June 23rd.
Yeah.
Because building it.
Yeah.
And then prior to that, we always did it in May, but it always seemed cold and rainy when we did it in May. So.
And it was last year too.
Yeah, see, we
Yeah.
can't win. So, I will get with, the reason we're staying away from the June, July this year is Habitat's gonna try a golf outing,
Okay.
and we didn't wanna double them up. But we'll make sure we get with Edmore officials, get their opinion on the Potato Festival date, and we'll relook at it. So I'll have more answers on that for you.
Okay.
But it'll be late summer, early fall for the bike ride.
All right, I just want to make sure that we're all aware of it and that we're participating where we need to.
Yep, I will keep you informed on that. The house, anything I can tell you about that, like I said, nothing's concrete yet, but we are very excited that we are looking at, as far as technology, new building technologies and efficiencies, this house is gonna be amazing. I suspect that the highest utility bill this house is gonna have is gonna be their internet. So, we're pretty excited about that. There are a lot of new technologies in energy efficiency and insulation, and we are committed to try as many of those as we can in this house and see how far we can push the high performance level. So, I guess that's,
Really quick, you did mention that the solar, it will be solar ready if the family eventually.
a lot of the habitats now are they're not putting solar in the houses, but they're making them solar ready. which is simple as running some conduit up through the attic space to a spot on the roof, so that if they wanted to go solar someday, the plumbing's all there, they drop the wire down through and it saves them a huge expense on having an electrician come in and set the house up for it. So those are kind of some of the little add-ons that we're hoping to slip in there. When we do it during the build process, you know, it might cost $100. If they wait till after the build press and want to add it 5 years down the road, it, you know, it could be thousands, so. So we're looking ahead at all of those things to set them up for the future.
And then what do you do, I'm just thinking for the family application process, we might have some families currently in the area that are renters within the city limits. What can we do to help get that word out? Or is that something that will come once we get that class scheduled?
As soon as we get the class scheduled, I will let you know that, and however you guys, what avenues you have to promote that, absolutely. We'll be promoting it through other nonprofit agencies like United Way and 8CAP and the agencies who deal with
Like
with
DHS and?
the group of people who would likely be habitat candidates. And, yeah.
Good deal.
Was that all of your question? Did I get it all?
From you.
That was a good job.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're excited. And hopefully, we're pushing it. But I'd like to see some ground moved down there sometime before the end of May.
Awesome.
So, I don't know, but we're running a little further behind, and I'd like to run a family selection process. But we're getting there. But we're definitely coming to town.
All right. Well, thank you. We're excited.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, so now on to new business. Consideration by the city commission to accept the formal resignation of Ray Holloway to end his tenure on the city planning commission and thank him for his years of service.
Before we do this, I want to let you know that I uploaded some files to the Dropbox area for the planning commission, some of the past minutes and some notes and things that I had. I just did that before I came to the meeting, so.
Yeah, I thought I was getting hacked, I saw the
Yeah.
popping up, I'm like, what's going on?
I kept seeing it too, I'm like.
Well, and do with them as you will, but I thought it might be something, I have copies of it for myself in case I want to come back on the commission. You know, I just want to let you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we need a motion to accept?
Yes, I'll entertain a motion.
I guess I will make a motion to accept formal resignation from Ray as presented. Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
And just on a note on that, we do have some seats that we need to fill there. So just to note, anyone that's interested, they can print off an application of interest online. Or if commissioners have been talking to anyone that is interested, we do have some seats that we need to fill there. So the consideration by the city commission to adopt the Stanton Public Participation Plan as prescribed by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation's MEDC Redevelopment Ready Community RRC program.
Can you go ahead and tell what I found in the accident?
Sure, this is a plan that, you know, the redevelopment ready communities, they, through the program, very strongly suggest that communities look at putting things on paper, what they do in terms of engaging the public and the citizens and so forth. You all are very familiar through the master plan process of what you have to do. Some of it is legal, you know, through the public notices and so forth. Sometimes you can go above and beyond, depending on the project or what whatever it calls for, the event or occasion. So say like Mike's Habitat for Humanity. We're going to go over, above and beyond, because we really want to engage the citizens or those families that may benefit from the program. So we're going to post it on our website, we're going to post it on social media, we're going to share it word of mouth and so forth. So as projects come about, they may call for a higher level of engagement, but not every meeting, like say, for instance, tonight's meeting, it's already been published. We do a lot of notices beforehand and so forth, so it's kind of a give or take, or what myself as the zoning administrator may feel that this is a huge project, a huge development that's going to go in over on the west side of the city. I think we need to really push this to get public input. The same for, say, the solar farm. By law, we have our notices that we're required to do, but if we wanted to, it's going to be something that's going to impact a whole lot of people. We may extend that even further beyond the minimum amount of participation or engagement. So there were some errors in here that are easily correctable. As I transpose this is something that myself and one of our interns I worked with prior to coming here, we came together and put this plan in place. And so judging that we're in this RRC program, some of it still is relatable to any community. So with that being said, the RRC program, it is something we continue to try to bite off parts at a time. Some things are going to take a little bit longer, some are quicker, so I try to manage my time with, I think I got enough time to do this one really quick and so forth. So that's kind of the overview of what this plan is about. We can always go back and retool it or add something that may have been missed. They just want to see that you have a plan in place. You know what you're going to do, kind of have some direction as well of how to engage people. And so Commissioner Basil gave me some feedback, but with that being said,
Well, yeah, RRC is really about promoting the city and putting it all out there, so everything is easy and accessible online. But under communicating results of a survey on page 5, just one of those editorial things that was caught, our newsletter is an annual newsletter, and so it says quarterly newsletter, and then it has a title actually from another city probably. So that's just gonna have to be something to be fixed. I also wondered, on that same note, it says that they'll put the results of a survey in the annual newsletter, but I wondered if it would be more effective to put that on the website, since the annual newsletter is not gonna roll around possibly until, another year. So that was one thing that I submitted to Vester. And then I also had a question about the evaluation of the effectiveness of the public participation efforts. That's on page 5 as well. And the language there said that there would be an internal evaluation executed after each public event or meeting. And I just was looking for some clarification on that is that like every city commission meeting? Is that just like special things? Like, for example, if we have like a Habitat for Humanity thing, a special event, I just kind of wondered what that was for, because if you're going to implement a policy, you have to know what you're doing, right? You have to know what it means.
Rules are rules.
And then lastly, there was a list of items on page 3 in ways that we offer to communicate with the public, and I would like to see email subscription added to that list, because that is a facet of the website that is available, and so we don't want to sell ourselves short. We want to put all of the ways that you can interact with the city out there.
So my only comment is that it wouldn't be a formal policy, it would be just a plan. So that kind of changes those dynamics. We're not saying that if we don't do this, then, well, we're in violation. It's more of, this is what we're planning to do, and like we kind of mentioned, we can adjust those plans as things change. So some of the, most of, I would say, pretty much everything you suggested, I have no problem with making those amendments to this plan. And as things come about, as technology changes, and we see other ways that we can improve our outreach efforts, then we could add to the plan. So those are my only concerns. But yeah, other than that, I can just add and change and do all this before it goes live on the city's website.
And I can volunteer my services to establish a standardized reporting of the satisfaction level. I like that the language that allows us to distribute it in paper or electronically, and we can set that up. And then we can do the nice summary. There will be problems with distributing individual comments per se. If there's names mentioned and things like that, we don't want that information out there, but we certainly can measure how many people were satisfied, not satisfied, and so on, in reporting that on an ongoing basis.
Yeah,
And we can set it up that it's done for us automatically, so.
absolutely. A quick example of DDA that's coming up, if we wanted to do a survey after the event, asking for feedback, what did you think about the event? Do you think this kind of encouraged you or helped you with your interest in maybe joining the DDA, something along those lines? So yeah, surveys can be crafted and we can gain that valuable information or feedback from the participants and publish some of those quotes, or if someone has a comment, they had a great time, that may spur more interest for future events. So yeah, those surveys, those are just some examples. We can play around with this some more. The most important thing is that the RRC or MEDC staff would like to continue to see progress on all those marks or recommendations that they provide us with. So this was something that I quickly get done and keep the ball moving. And if you see anything else, or you want to make some more changes, we can do that. But
You're done with your changes? And I would make a motion that we adopt the Stanton Public Participation Plan with the amendments that mentioned.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and now moving on to consideration by the city commission to set Tuesday, March 26th at 7 p.m. as date and time to hold a public hearing to receive comment on a Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund, MNRTF Development Grant application for Phase 2 of the Veteran Memorial Park project.
I'll make a motion to set March 26th as public hearing. No, second hour. You need me to say it all?
No, as long as you.
It's here, I got it. As long as you're not changing any of the wording, you're good.
And then Glenn second.
Yep.
Did you do that? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on to committee reports.
Did we, do Chuck's absent?
We already did that.
Oh, you did, okay.
Yep.
I thought he amended it.
We did that right after the agenda.
Committee reports, we don't have anything new on the Veterans Park. We are currently trying to schedule the next committee meeting. Hopefully it will be within the next 2 to 2.5 weeks to go over more fundraising details. As far as a report from the DDA, I'm happy to report that tickets are officially on sale for the Murder Mystery Dinner Night. That'll be May 11th. You can buy them here at City Hall. Rachel Kildoff at the Brickyard, myself, Lori Mazzola, Register of Deeds at the old courthouse on Main Street. Jen Ralston will be selling them at Ralston's Hardware. After next week, Patty will have them at White Pine, and
Mayor,
hopefully.
can you have them at City Hall or no?
We do.
Yes, they are.
Oh,
Yep, they are at City Hall. You cannot purchase them at the Legion, just so everybody knows, that's just the facility we're hosting it at. But if, hoping to also have some at Book Walters after tomorrow, but they're not there yet. So that will be happening. And from what I hear, there's a lot of buzz, so we're very excited to get that event kicked off. So hopefully you'll see more advertisement going on with that. And we're also looking at finalizing the directory of businesses downtown and in the Stanton area, city limits. So that should also be available soon. You think of anything? That's really,
No,
yeah.
sums it up.
Any other committee? No?
I have
Yeah.
just something to throw out there. I was talking with Eric Ralston today, and he said that sometimes he doesn't get notification of the park meetings.
Okay.
If we could create a group or something and where,
I think we got that taken care of though.
After the last time, yeah.
He gave us the right, I saw he's responded to, meeting
The date request?
date request.
Okay.
okay.
Alright. So are there any public comments at this time? Yes, Mike?
Go ahead.
I'll add, just so the commission knows, and maybe you've already heard, but since I was here and you gave us the East First Street lot, Trinity Church in town has also donated us a lot. So with the split in the Trinity Church, Habitat's here definitely for 3 houses. I don't know if it'll be back to back, but
Do you know the location or the approximate location of that?
help me, Vester, is it Crawford?
I believe so,
I
yeah.
think Crawford Street. So it would be the other side of what was Pinky McPherson's house?
Baker.
Back side of that?
Pinky Baker.
Pinky Baker?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's way up north, isn't it?
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, there's-
Well, no, I was thinking with the house that they are doing something else with in that vicinity, but this is a different.
It's a vacant lot.
Right, it's where they moved the old house to. Okay.
It's not theirs. Isn't that like a, I'm trying to think, wasn't it an L shaped?
It's an old Bayers.
Oh, I think it was more rectangular and they had a weird piece of property that was right behind it that
Yes.
is
Yeah.
unusable.
There's another vacant lot to the east of it where a house was burned.
down. Yeah.
Okay, that is where I'm, okay,
Okay.
that is where I'm,
Oh, I know.
it's the next street over, but I was still thinking it's that pocket. Okay,
So you wanted a presence of Habitat in the city and we got it.
we definitely got it.
The other thing I heard you mention, I forgot to ask about, was the GDA.
Mm-hmm.
Any groups like that you think would be beneficial for me to present Habitat to, because now we turn our focus to funding and volunteers.
Definitely. Actually, I was at the Stanton Women's Club meeting last night, talking about different projects that we have happening within the city, and they were very eager to hear about what is happening next with Habitat and where that is moving forward.
Okay.
So I can get you that.
Yeah, any
information.
groups like that
Yep.
within the city, absolutely keep me busy.
Okay.
I'll come and talk to all of them.
Mr. Wood.
I'd like to say James Plum, 543 East Court, because today I received a certificate of occupancy for the house that my father and I built for the family. At 543 Coeur d'Alene, I'm just excited to say that we got a house built in the town myself, and, living here all my life and working with the community.
Congratulations.
Very cool.
It's been a long 6 months, right? A lot of work. All right. Let's see, any commissioner comments?
I have a comment. I resigned from the planning commission, but it wasn't because I wanted to resign. It was a technicality that I couldn't belong to too many commissions. So if anybody is interested, I didn't want you to get the wrong idea that I just wanted to leave. I didn't. It's a wonderful thing, and it's a very important position to have.
You have anybody in your thoughts?
have a couple people that I'm gonna approach.
Okay.
I'd rather not say. but-
That's fine, I just,
I don't wanna pressure them.
But that's good. Because of the quorum rules, we have to be careful of how many commissioners are seated on the different commissions. So, yeah. And Ray also serves on the fire board, so,
There's nothing wrong
Thank
with
you.
pressure, that's how we got the third, board
board of review person.
A lot of questions, so feel free to ready for it, hold on.
A little strong arm in there. Does anybody else have any comments? I would like to ask that at the next meeting, you would excuse me from being absent because I will be on a much needed vacation.
where you going?
So, we are going to Texas to visit family. March 26th, yes. It is spring break for the school,
Pasadena?
so. Yeah, well, actually Pearland is where we're going, which is a suburb.
Okay.
Yep. And hopefully gonna spend some time in Galveston as well.
Been there.
So, yep, it's very nice.
They got really neat Bloody Marys.
Oh, really? Oh, boy. If there's no other commissioner comments, at this time, we're gonna adjourn into a closed session, to meet on performance appraisal evaluation, right? Can I say that? Okay. We fly out next Friday night. Oh, I'm sorry. Motion to adjourn into a, in a second.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hold on, Mark.
You can go in the break room if you want, Erica.
Buster?
Laurie, if you're gonna talk about Dustin before I gotta go, I gotta tell you, he's been very helpful, very good to work with.